Okay, this video is for Algebra 1, Factoring Trinomials Intro. This is in conjunction with the Khan Academy video that I've assigned to you guys, or at least you have as a resource. To start off this lesson, though, I'd like to start. We're not going to factor yet. Okay, we're going to take two binomials, which is two polynomials with two terms. So a binomial means two terms, and we're going to multiply these two out. So in order to do that, I want to multiply everything in this parentheses by everything in this parentheses. Okay, so how this is going to look, we're going to go x times x, and that will give me x squared. Then we're going to go x times 3, and we're going to get plus 3x. And we're also going to do 2 times x, that will be plus 2x, and 2 times 3, and that would be plus 6. Now, if you remember back when we multiplied these, we do have two sets of like terms right here, so we're going to add those two together. And this would be my final answer. Excuse me. This would be my final answer if I were multiplying two binomials. This is what we get when we multiply. Okay, well, factoring starts here and then asks us to write the problem like that. So that's what factoring does. Okay, now, if we were doing this problem, I would want to know what number goes here and what number goes here in order to get the two parentheses. Now, if we look at the relationship between this number, the 5 and the 6, in relation to the 2 and the 3. So what that is 2 times 3 gave us this last term right here, and 2 plus 3 gave us our middle term, 5. And so whatever two numbers go here, and in the Khan Academy video, he kind of talked about this. He said, we want to figure out what numbers go here and here. We want to know what two numbers multiply to the 6, the last term, called the the constant. And we also want two numbers that add up. Those same two numbers have to add up to the middle term. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing. Let's take a look at another example here. Let's go with this right here. X squared minus 7x minus 30. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to put down our two parentheses, and we're over to the side here. This is what I like to do. We're going to come over here and we're going to put two blanks and a multiplication sign between them. So basically we have our first number here and our second number here, and we want those two numbers to multiply to negative 30. And we're going to have another set of blanks, and we're going to have those same two numbers add up to my middle term, negative 7. And so through a little bit of thinking, if you can't figure this out, you can use a calculator and just kind of figure out what things multiply to 30. Okay, so what are options for my first two sets of blanks? What can go here and what can go here? Okay, so I'm going to list those out. 1 and 30, 2 and 15, 5 and 6, and then 3 and 10. Okay, now keep in mind that since this is negative, one of these two numbers, either the 1's going to be negative and the 30 will be positive, or the 2 will be negative and the 15 will be positive, or the 6 will be negative and the 5 will be positive. One of the numbers in each of these pairs, one of the numbers in each of these pairs is going to have to be negative in order to get negative 30. Okay, so we kind of look through here. Looking at the numbers, if I mess with the signs, can I get to negative 7? Can I get to negative 7 with one of these pairs? And if you look, if you take 3 and 10, those two numbers, if I mess with the signs, I can get those to add up to negative 7 because 10 minus 3 is 7. Okay? So I'm going to put those two numbers in here, 10 and 3, 10 and 3. Now I need to know which one should be negative, the 10 or the 3. And so you need to come down here to the adding portion and think about what number needs to be negative in order to make when I add those two together, to give me negative 7. Excuse me, dang. And so if you think about that, this number should be negative. The 10 should be negative in order for that to add up to negative 7. And so it would be x minus 10 and x plus 3. And then this is factored. That's factored. And that's my answer. Okay, let's take a look at another one. We'll go a little bit quicker now. So let's go x squared plus 3x minus 54. So again, we're going to put down our two blanks, and we're going to say what multiplies to negative 54 and adds up to positive 3. A list of what multiplies to 54 could help. So like 1 and 54, 2 and 27. I believe 3 goes in evenly. Let me see what that is. So 3 and 18, and then 6 and 9. And again, since the 54 is negative, inside each pair, one of those is going to have to be negative. And so if you look right here at the 6 and the 9, I can get to 3, that positive 3 somehow, if I mess with the signs, because 9 minus 6 is 3. So I'm going to put those in. 9 and 6, or sorry, 6 and 9, 6 and 9. And then now I want I want to look again at the addition portion. How do I get a positive 3, putting a negative either here on the 9 or a negative here on the 6? Which one will give us a positive 3? And hopefully you've guessed it already, and it should be a negative 6 on there. So then if I write my parentheses, I would go x minus 6 and x plus 9. And then that would be my answer. Okay. Now I want to show you one more example here, and this is how it looks on Khan Academy. Okay. On the Khan practices, they'll give you something like this: x squared plus 12x plus 32. And they will say this is a rectangle, and you have a length and a width, and they'll say the width is x plus 4. And basically what you're trying to figure out is, what is the other parentheses? So we already know that this is a parentheses, and we're trying to figure out this second parentheses. That's what we're trying to show here. I would just do the problem. I would take this, and I would just come off to the side here, and I would factor that like we've done in the past. So again, we're looking for, let me see if I can get some space here. We're looking for two numbers that multiply to 32, and those same two numbers have to add up to 12. And so if you look at the multiples, what multiplies to 32, 1 and 32, 2 and 16, 4 and 8. Well, we already know that one of the numbers is 4 because they gave it to us. So it must be this pair, because that pair has 4 in it also. So that would mean that this is 4 and this is 8, this is 4 and this is 8. And then we would know that, well, we already have the x, this 4 is already represented right there. So this 8 must be the one that goes right there. And therefore that would be our length and our width. Okay. So hopefully that helps with the Khan practices, and if you have any confusion about the videos, I hope that helped. If not, let me know, and we can jump on a Google Meet and we can look at some more problems together. But thanks.